Thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. There's a little brookie there. He's just cruising along and feeding. And I'm up at Ruby Lake. There he goes. He's about to rise for something. They're eating something I can't even see. There he goes. He just rose. If I had my line set up, I could just throw in a nymph right now and he would be all over it. But I'm not ready. I'm still tying up. I'll be fishing Ruby Lake today. And I can see a lot of brookies swimming close to shore. So let's see what we can find. I can see there's fish right over in that shade over there, right on the shore. And I'm fishing a small beadhead. There's one right there. And he's going for it. There he goes. There he goes. And I finally got some new line on my pole. Some new fly line. After my old life fly line was like 3-4 years old and just beat to death. And it's a little brookie. He's not bad. I'll take it. That was my second cast. And I'm just using this little bead head that's got this shiny green back on it. And I put this new line on my pole, and it's making it so much easier to cast. I can cast way farther. And my reel broke in my last one, but I put this other old reel I have on here, and it's heavy and it's all out of balance, but it's fine. I'll get used to it. I mean, my fly rod is 2 different fly rods put together. It's half green and half black because it's not even, and I use 4-pound Vanish as leader material, so I'm not exactly textbook here. So it doesn't really matter, but I can really get distance on this new line, so I love it. And here's one's going for it. He's following it, but he's not taking it. Usually these little guys will just attack it, but sometimes they're finicky. And he's not interested. So we'll keep going. But yeah, I'm able to cast. I'm able to get really good distance now. And I can really just shoot it out there, and it's easy. My old fly line was so old. It was just like, it was starting to fall apart. And when your line's falling apart, usually that's a bad sign, and it's time to change it. So, oh, there we go. He went for it, but I missed him. That guy went for it, and I missed the strike somehow. I don't know how. He swam right up and swallowed it, and I just missed it. And I got a couple brookies out there chasing each other around, which usually makes them vulnerable because they'll try to get that food the first. Oh. Come on, buddy, take it. Oh. Oh man, I'm choking. Whatever these fish are feeding on, it's something that's so small, I can't see it. This wind is really going to be brutal. Oh, darn it. I'm getting strikes. They're not as aggressive as I'd like them to be. There we go. Oh, I had him. I felt him for a second there. He was going for it. It's very frustrating. Because they're not being super aggressive, so I'm going to go walk to another part of the lake. Sometimes if you just find a whole new shoreline, a whole new area, The fishing's completely different. Yep, there we go. Oh! There it is. There it is. I lost his buddy, but then he was still game. These brookies aren't bad. I mean, they're just typical little brook trout. Fun to catch on a fly rod, though. I mean, I can mess around with these things all day. I saw one go for it, but he does not want it. He changed his mind in a hurry. I might have to change flies. Because although this beadhead I'm using is easy for me, the goal is to catch fish. So I don't, just because it's easy on me doesn't mean it's always the best choice. But I'll always try to make it work. And these guys are not enthusiastic at all about my fly choice. Shying away from that other one, so I'm gonna go with this little nymph that doesn't have a beadhead on it. It's a tiny little pheasant tail nymph, and we'll see if it makes a difference. I mean, I don't know. They might just not be. They might be just being really picky because of what they're feeding on isn't what I have. so we're just gonna have to see if it makes a difference. So they don't seem to be into this light fly that much either. I mean, they're hitting it, but they're not going crazy for it, you know, like I thought they would. And I get I'm catching fish and I'm complaining. So there we go. And there's some nice brookies in there. I mean, that's not a bad brookie. Sometimes what I find is if you can't match the hatch, sometimes it's a good idea to try to just throw something big and loud on. Because, I mean, I'm catching fish on this thing, and I'm getting strikes, but nothing more than I was getting with the other one. So it's not like, you know, it's really noticeable. I mean, if I'm gonna struggle, I might as well struggle with something that's easy to fish. Now, I have to qualify all of this by saying I've only been fishing for about for about a half an hour. I've already caught a few fish and got multiple strikes, but I want more than that. There's people jumping off that big rock over there, which sounds like a good idea before this wind kicks up. This wind is howling. So I put on a big, heavy beadhead because I figure if I can't match what they're eating and they're going to be afraid of my beadhead, I might as well put on something loud and see if I can get them to hit that. And with this, I can strip it like a streamer. And the first test case said, you got to be out of your mind. So one fish doesn't make a make or break a selection. That thing looked at it and was just like, dude, that thing is huge. But we'll see. I mean, I'm getting bumps, but they're really not being very aggressive towards what I'm throwing at them. But all I can do is just keep throwing it out there. And I've already changed my fly several times just based on the reaction of the fish that I see come up, and when they just completely ignore what I'm throwing or they'll swim up and turn away, it tells me something's not right. But since I've already thrown just about every kind of fly that I have, whatever it is they want, I don't got it. So I'm just gonna have to work for a living today. There we go. He wasn't afraid. He swam right up and nailed that thing. I mean, if you keep going, eventually you're gonna find fish that are gonna hit. You know. Yeah, there's some nice little brookies in here. on the water, and there's a couple fish right in front of me. See if I can get him to strike. There we go. Oh! There we go. Oh! Whenever there's a few, a lot of times they get overly aggressive, but I hooked that one and it kind of scared everybody. Thought I had me a sucker. Oh, there's that same one that I hooked and got off. See? You find the ones that are gonna bite no matter what. See if you can see them fighting in the water. See them swimming around, how cool that looks with all the colors. Nice stuff. There we go. I mean, these are nice little brookies, boy. I mean, you get five of these up, get your limit, and throw them in a frying pan with some olive oil. It's a beadhead that's kind of loud. I'll show it to you. And I think what I'm dealing with here is not, you know, I just got to find the fish that are willing to take that chance. I'm looking for gamblers. Let me figure out how to get down to the water, and then I'll show you what's going on. But like, I threw this thing out in front of this fish, and he didn't even hesitate. I mean, that thing just swam right over and nailed it. And I just don't have I just have one kind of fly pretty much, so. And there we go. Nice brookie. I'm using this loud guy with good sized beadhead. It's got some green, shiny green on it. And I'm just trying to throw this right in front of them and have them hit it with instinct. And that guy did. Really cool how you get those turquoise where the white granite sand is down there. And you can just kind of see it's got that whole Lake Tahoe vibe to it where you can see the deep turquoise coloring. I can see a dude that's hanging out right at the base of this rock. Ugh. There he goes. Yeah, he came right up and got it. And like I said, I'm not having any less luck with this less natural looking fly than I was with that more natural looking fly. This is a real colorful brookie, boy. That's a nice brook trout. Check out those colors. Look at that bright orange stomach. Get him back out there. And the fish that are taking it just aren't even hesitating. They're just whacking it. Boom. You know, that fish had no doubt. It wanted whatever that was. If that fish was human, it'd be eating fast food. Casted right up between these rocks. And the second that beadhead hit the water, this fish nailed it. I never know when to have the camera running. Like when I'm just catching one after another. I mean, I'm catching pretty much one after another, but it's just hard to gauge when to film and when not to. And that's a nice brookie living back in these rocks. I was gonna try to walk out on that. This is one of those things that looks close, but to leap over that, I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to go swimming right now. But this is an awesome place to swim. I mean, you could get out to that rock out there easily, and the water's just so clean and blue. Oh, this is incredible. So here's the little outlet. I was just talking to some cool ladies and then another guy and his girl that were camping. I gave him a couple jigs. He wasn't having that much luck. Sometimes right in these sticks, fish will be chilling, but sometimes not. So it's not exactly hard and fast rules on it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That time it didn't. It's It's nice. I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's early. I've only fished for 2.5 hours or so, but I figure I'm gonna get some sleep for a little bit, and then I'm gonna hike down the mountain, and then I'm gonna do maybe find something else to fish before I drive home tonight. So this is the second fishing stop on my little 30-hour power trip. These power trips that I do. So we'll see if I have the energy to do anything else. And this is just one of those situations where the fishing wasn't great. A lot of the fish were swimming up, looking at it, turning away. I was talking to a guy that was swimming with his girl over there, and he said he was having the same thing. They're following his lures, and then they were just turning away. Sometimes as the summer progresses and a lot of people are fishing, after a while, you know, the fish become a little more shy, and there's a lot of food blowing through here, so they have the choice to be finicky. I hope you enjoyed fly fishing for Brookies at Ruby Lake. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.